All right, man, we need to talk about something, and this involves WWE. Shocking, I know that this isn't good news, right? Aren't you so shocked that this is a video not talking good about WWE? Because everybody talks good about them nowadays. I've seen a lot of people lately feeling that and this includes me, saying that SmackDown is just in a really bad position right now, and I think that's kind of an understatement. And I'll show you a few things throughout this video of what people say, some statistics. I don't think we should base everything off statistics and viewership and things like that, but I feel like sometimes it is a good indicator of where things are right now and where things are going in the future for a company like WWE. If the statistics that I will show you are going to continue to be stagnating, if you will, or just very consistent with how bad the performance is in terms of things like SmackDown ratings and, you know, like to dislike ratios, things like that. It's kind of getting a little out of hand. And the title of this video is called I've Never Seen SmackDown This Bad. And I'm going to say, and that's not clickbait, bro. This might be the worst era of SmackDown I have ever seen. I cannot, I literally for the life of me cannot sit through a whole episode of Brother, I might actually prefer TNA over SmackDown, bro. Who would thought of anyone saying that? I swear there is not a gun to my head. I cannot believe I just said that. Most of the time I have TNA on as the background to whatever I'm doing. That's how bad SmackDown is, bro. SmackDown to me in this era in 2026 can be summed up in one word as why. Because why the hell? Why does this show even air anyway? Nothing happens on this show. You're like, you go out of SmackDown and you're like, phew, yeah, I'm glad I watched that show. No, people are like, I want to go to bed because this is tiring and boring. And I know I sound like I'm this hater that, you know, I want this company to fail or something, or I want to laugh at SmackDown because it's failing and I've always hated this company. No, when Survivor Series happens or has happened, they really need to bring Survivor Series Raw versus SmackDown back. They need to bring that back ASAP. I'm tired of this War Games crap, but that's for a different season. Right now I'm talking about, you know, when Survivor Series was a thing and it was Raw versus SmackDown, 99% of the time I was going for SmackDown, bro. I've always been a SmackDown guy. I've always wanted SmackDown, especially in 2016. But the roster they had, I know we glorified 2016 SmackDown, but the roster they had, it was genuinely insane what they were able to do with that roster. My goodness. But I've always bled blue. I've been a SmackDown guy, and, you know, just coming up here right now in 2026, 10 years after one of the best SmackDown, probably top 3 SmackDown era of all time in 2016. 10 years later, if I am telling you now, this might be the worst era of SmackDown I've ever seen. I don't remember the last time I have been able to sit through an episode of SmackDown and not hated myself and would have rather had a gun pointed to my head. I might be exaggerating on that, but I genuinely don't know at this point. Just so much is happening in SmackDown to where it's like, why is this happening? There are 2 things that are happening on SmackDown, and some of this happens on Raw too, but this is mainly SmackDown. Either one, nobody cares about what's going on in a type of story or something. Mainly, you know, dude, the tag division. Holy crap, bro. Yeah, when's the last time you thought about WWE SmackDown and thought, I'm excited to see this tag match? Dude, no, it's not happened this year. It's just stop, bro. You're lying. The second thing happens is, okay, I'm actually interested in the story, and then they just mess it up with some odd booking decision for some odd reason. There's a lot that, you know, this SmackDown in particular, I didn't watch full. I watched the highlights, and I feel like with the highlights you still get, you know, everything you need to, rather than watching a 2-hour, is it 2 or 3 hours? I don't know anymore. They keep switching it every couple months now, it seems like. I don't want to watch a 2 or 3 hour SmackDown when I can watch freaking highlights that will tell me everything that has happened in about 10 minutes. And even in those 10 minutes, I feel like my time has been completely wasted and I want it back. This company should pay me. You know how some people get wrongly jailed for a crime they didn't commit and they serve like a life sentence, and then they found it, and then the jail finds out, oh, our bad, you didn't commit that crime, you spent a lot of your time behind bars when you shouldn't have, and then they release them and give them like millions of dollars. This is how I feel with SmackDown, bro. Like, yeah, where's my check, bro? Why are you subjecting me to this product? I don't want to freaking, where's my money? Can I sue this company for this product they're putting on? But yeah, just things, especially on this SmackDown, I wanted to make this video right now. I could have made this video 7 more times in the past, but I feel like this episode of SmackDown just completely personifies what SmackDown has been in late 2025 into the entire year so far of 2026, which has been utter garbage and weird booking decisions and just things on the show nobody cares about. Crowd was pretty much, from what I can gather, is pretty much dead. I'm gonna show you a few things that, yeah, to make you realize that I'm not alone in this, or if you feel the same way, we're not alone in this, buddy, because this is crazy, man. Okay, we have switched views. Hello, this is the first time I've done this on the channel, so sorry if this setup looks a little, you know, like a blind 8-year-old crafted this up. Yeah, my bad. I've said previously that I don't think people should go into statistics and ratings and like viewership and things like that and make it just 100% of the argument for why a show either is really good or really bad. I think that is very stupid. But in this case, I find it like the viewership is kind of starting to affect what Friday Night SmackDown, the product that they put out, and the viewership is starting to consistently reflect that. Heading into like numbers I thought I would have never seen before from a WWE main show, and it's a little bit concerning. So I thought, well, yes, I don't think this is the end all be all ratings and stuff like that and viewership numbers. It completely is not. But this kind of adds to the, I feel like it's kind of an adding to an argument when you see a show doing very poorly and then you kind of see a lot of viewers tuning out, and it's like, I feel like then you can kind of make the argument like, yeah, people are kind of feeling the same exact way I am right now. In mid 2025, SmackDown, I forgot where SmackDown was at this point, man. 2020 to 25 just kind of blends together for me in terms of literally anything. I don't know if that's me or anyone else, but the viewership for Friday Night SmackDown, oh my goodness, I just had a seizure. The viewership for SmackDown in mid 2025, it was not the greatest. As you can see, 1.7, 1.5. We're kind of in that territory of like, okay, we probably should talk about this because, you know, a WWE main show should probably have a lot more viewers than this. But I will give the company some support when I say that viewing wrestling is there's a lot more avenues in terms of how people view wrestling now, just rather than watching the show. There's clips online, there's things like that. So probably a lot more people still keep up with the product than what we're seeing here. But taking your time and viewing the live show, I feel like speak a lot into what the quality of your show. And, you know, if people really care enough about your product, they're going to try to tune into it live whenever they can. But you kind of see here, you know, 1.5, 1.1, that's dangerous territory, 1.15. But after the really bad performances, you'd always see a spike and they go back into 1.7 mil, you know, 1.15. Okay, there's 1.59 or rebound. And that's kind of been the situation for a while. Like right there, really, really bad. But then they kind of spike back up. It's not a good spike. It's still pretty bad viewers for SmackDown, but there's under 1 mil right now. So this trend has kind of continued for what, almost a year now, man. So yeah, it's just 1 point, like they just can't, they literally like, they can't do 2 million for SmackDown anymore. And you know, they used to consistently hit that. I think it was over, was it like 3 million at one? I don't remember. Can I go back? Here is a very good representation of what you see. All this red right here, that means that's not very good. So we see over here in quarter 3 2025 2021, awkward place to start, but that's where we're starting. +6, okay, -8, but 2022 to like 2023, you know, this is kind of the era where Triple H kind of took over. There's a period in between where there's a thing with Vince McMahon, and like, was he running the show and all that? It was a very weird time, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter because that it kind of shows the situation they were in, but people were very excited for the Triple H era of booking and stuff like that, and that, you know, that's a whole nother topic to go into. But you know, 2021, okay, -8 right there, but then they started gaining traction, especially here. I'm guessing this is probably where things started to change within WWE. Quarter 2 within 2023, and then, you know, you had a little drop off in quarter 4, but 2024 quarter 1 +2, and then from there it has just been like, I'm confused, by the way, because 2024 SmackDown, if I remember, was kind of really good. The whole build to WrestleMania. What month is Mania? Holy crap, dude, my mind is cooked. Dude, I don't know ball whatsoever. I literally forgot what freaking month Mania was in. But okay, so it would be in around quarter 1 to quarter 2. Okay, so it makes sense now. The viewers were consistently there, even though there's a minus. That's not like too crazy. The thing is, people were showing up. People consistently were showing up. Right after Mania 40, you know, we were all hyped and stuff, and we were thinking, cool, what's WWE gonna do next? And then, you know, after Mania 40, everything just slowly started to turn around. As you can see, -13%. I mean, I kind of understand this. I mean, across the board after Mania, it's kind of just like, it's gonna pretty much go down because, you know, that's the biggest show of the year, so I can see why it goes down. So I'll give them grace there. But then after that, after what everyone calls the Mania slump, bro, you should kind of, you know, stagnate and get back into a little flow a bit. -32%, -36, -30. It's been going down for every quarter since quarter 1 2024. It has been dropping. Or, you know what, I'll even give them grace. It has been going down rapidly since quarter 4. You know what, no, quarter 2 2024, because -15%, -13%. That's a pretty significant drop off in there compared to, you know, was this when Vince was running? There's no way he was doing a better job. There's just no way. I just don't believe that whatsoever. There's no way. But anyway, it has been a sinking ship. It has been just going down rapidly, man. Like, I thought it was bad, but looking at this now, like, yeah, obviously this isn't everything, but you see a lot of red here. There's obviously, I don't want to hear anybody saying, oh, you're just a hater, SmackDown is good. No. There is literally a glaring problem here. Yes, this isn't everything, but if I see a pattern, I'm gonna freaking point it out, dude. And obviously I don't feel like this show is that good, and really anyway, to be honest. So okay, this is a lot more glaring. I didn't see this chart before. I probably should have shown this first. Let's see, let's just give them grace here. 2024 quarter 1, this whole the Mania season, they were doing very well. 2.39 million. That is their highest in a really long time for them. Almost 2.4, we'll just round up, 2.4 million. That is a really good amount of viewers for your show. You were averaging more than Monday Night Raw at that time, which was 1.7 million viewers. So SmackDown was the A show. You were doing really good. And then after the Mania season, you know, when everything started to go really bad, things have just dropped off dramatically, man. You go from 2.2 million to you basically lost 200,000 viewers in a freaking month. It's probably not that accurate or that simple, but it just keeps going down. 230, I can't do math, 230,000 there. Freaking 1.4 million. Okay, so I do want to mention something I forgot to mention during this video that probably factors in heavily to the drop-off from Q3 to Q4 in 2024. In September of 2024, that's basically Q3 leading straight into Q4. You see that big drop-off there. A lot of that probably has to do with the fact that SmackDown moved from Fox back to USA, so that probably impacted the viewership a lot and caused a major drop-off in viewership at that point. Some of it might have been booking, but a good chunk of it was due to SmackDown going from Fox to USA, since Fox is a lot bigger of a platform people have service to. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that, you know, give them grace a little bit while I'm straight cooking them throughout this video. 1.5, 1.4, the 1.1, bro. Jeez, man, dude, it's getting so bad, bro. And like Q2 picked up a bit, but as you can see here, bro, consistently like getting in the danger zone. Like obviously here, like they would kind of get in the danger zone but then pick back up again, but I don't think I've ever seen a slump like this to where it's like you've been in the danger zone for like a month now, almost 2 months now. You've been in the danger zone, and it's like, shout out Chris Danger. I didn't catch that till I just said it, but you know, I know ball, bro. It's just been like consistently just dropping, and just like you see a little pickup, but it's not. What I'm trying to say is viewers for the main show that everybody knows is WWE, the #1 wrestling company, and you're averaging almost, for one of your primary shows, under 1 million viewers. It's just kind of, you know, it's baffling we're at the place where we're at, and it's baffling how bad the show has gotten, man. It's great. And now we turn our attention to the WWE YouTube page from last SmackDown, the SmackDown full highlight right there. We go to that. Can I get like, will I get like freaking video taken down for even showing their YouTube? I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, but you know, let's go to the comments. I'm assuming all of you know what happened on WWE SmackDown since you're here. The fact the world champion is in a tournament where the winner gets a shot at a world championship is backwards. This is referring to Liv Morgan in the King of the Ring tournament. She is the world champion. How does that, why does a world champion get to be in Queen of the Ring tournament? Who knows, bro? You know, we're in 2026, balls to the walls, I guess. The one thing I will say that was good that this comment mentioned is that made me realize there was a good segment on this show with Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes. I feel like they're building Sami Zayn up pretty well. I feel like it's a little bit slow. They've been doing this for a while now, man, but I feel like it's starting to pick up a bit, and I feel like they did a really good job with Sami Zayn as a special guest referee, and like, you know, screwing over Gunther, and like Cody Rhodes there was just a lot, but I enjoyed that part of SmackDown. Liv doesn't have any business being in King of the Ring. There's just not a lot of positive, unless it's Sami Zayn and that whole thing. There's just nothing really positive to go on here. Sami's character development is great. He's slowly turning heel and taking his time to do it. A lot of time there. It's a lot of time. Taking a lot of time. Ruthless Depression. Yeah, shout out Bobby Monsoon here. I just clicked on someone's channel. We don't do free promos here, bud. Even though I have 30 subs, we ain't doing that. I don't like Liv being pushed this far. I mean, she's champ, but why is she in Queen of the Ring tournament and now in the final against EO? That is absolutely crazy. That I didn't even know that. Oh, I'm so out of tune right now. I didn't even know that was the match to go to the finals. I feel like King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring has just been so diminished over the years to where it just really means absolutely nothing. You want to know how to do a tournament, bro? Look at the Continental Classic, bro. I am excited for that thing every single year. You know why I'm excited for it? Because there's actual effort into putting matches together, and the matches actually deliver. You don't know how good or bad the match is going to be, or how long the match is going to go for. It's just like a okay, you two, it's a round robin tournament and everyone faces everybody in their brackets, and it's a literal mayhem. That's how brackets should be. Brackets are mayhem. And I feel like something like the Continental Classic is like the March Madness of professional wrestling, if you will. I know that's probably casual take because there's things like the G1 tournaments and like the things like that, and I've never checked one of those out, but I feel like when it comes to King of the Ring, it's so boring, and just, you know, when you watch King of the Ring, you know, it's just all filler matches till the finalists, where they go out and try to put a good match on the pay-per-view. But other than that, all the matches are kind of just filler matches, and like, okay, let's get to the finals at this point, because on TV, the TV matches just aren't really gonna hit. That's kind of my problem with how WWE does tournaments. They don't care about having a good match on TV and good stories within the tournament. They just care about getting to the finals, getting from point A to point B. Or yeah, I just don't like it. Literally the worst King and Queen of the Ring tournament ever. Literally both wrestlers were absolutely sick of seeing Liv and Jay in the finals. Yeah, I kind of understand the fatigue of both of those. It's kind of for different reasons. Liv has kind of been on top for a really long time now, and I feel like the women's division as a whole is kind of just it's in like an awkward phase. I feel like it's in like a very weird transitional period, because these NXT women are coming up and they're trying to get spotlights on themselves, but then you have someone like Liv Morgan, the Rhea Ripleys, that have been on top for a really long time, and it's kind of like, what do you do with them at this point? Like let's have other people kind of in these positions and maybe build out the character developments of Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, because after Mania 40 there hasn't been much character development for them whatsoever. It's just, I'm champion, or it's either they're champion or they're going after their championship, and that's literally the story. There's not much character development, and if there is, it's nothing anybody cares about whatsoever. Another controversial SmackDown. Why is Jay and Liv in the finals? Bruh, Io and Oba better win. Dude, people will riot if imagine Liv and Jay Uso win their brackets, bro. I don't even know what building or city they're gonna have the finals in, but let me tell you, it is going to be like, if Jay Uso and Liv Morgan win on the same night in their respective bracket and just win King and Queen of the Ring, it is going to look like New York outside after the Knicks won the championship. People will be stomping on cars, people will be rioting, and it won't be for the right reasons, I'll say that. Triple H loves his Codis and Yeet, man, that's crazy. Proud of Javon for putting over young talents. Yeah, that good old 40-year-old Javon putting over a 21-year-old Jey Uso, man. That's freaking, it's awesome. I don't like how Liv is being pushed, so annoying. You're gonna see comments like this under things like every SmackDown. People just, there's just not a lot of SmackDowns out there in 2026 where across the board everyone is in agreement of how things are booked. Like, you're not really going to find that anymore, but I feel like if it's like 80% of people like where things are headed, we're in a good pace, we're at a good spot. But it's like almost every SmackDown there's something where it's just 50-50 with how people feel, or like 20-80 with how people feel, and 80% being kind of peed off because, you know, they've followed a story for a while and it just really hasn't paid off the way they thought it would. Charlotte kicking out of Oblivion is crazy. That move has been so protected. This is another thing this SmackDown I really didn't like. I enjoyed the build throughout this episode for Charlotte Flair, and she got attacked backstage. Her leg was injured. I thought she was going to go into that ring and like have this performance where the crowd was going to get behind her, and the crowd did get behind her, and the crowd really was pushing for Charlotte Flair to win this match. match. That's crazy. In 2026, we're saying the crowd being behind Charlotte Flair. That's crazy. I'll give WWE respect for that. They got the crowd behind Charlotte Flair again, but I feel like this was a perfect opportunity for, you know, Charlotte Flair to be kind of pushed in that spot again, because this was a spot where she was genuinely the underdog and the crowd was, you know, the crowd was selling to it. They were playing along. Okay, Charlotte Flair's the underdog. Let's get behind her back. We want her to win this match. And then because her leg is injured, and on the outside they had this good moment of Alexa Bliss saying to Charlotte Flair, okay, this isn't worth it. This isn't worth it. You can stop right now due to injury. We can wrap this up right now. It's not worth it. We can go to the back, get your leg checked out. But, you know, Charlotte Flair with a lot of emotion on her face saying, this is worth it to me. And then she gets back in the ring. And then in 30 seconds later, Liv Morgan taps out Charlotte Flair. What are we doing? There was no point in all that if Charlotte Flair is going to lose, because where is this going to go? Knowing SmackDown in 2026, they're going to act like none of this happened in like a month from now. I really like that moment of Charlotte Flair being like, this matters to me. I want to win this. And then she just, you know, loses and taps out 2 minutes later. I'd be fine with it if they, you know, follow up with something and, you know, have a Charlotte Flair push after this. I might be in the minority there, but that kind of sold me to where if Charlotte Flair is going to be treated as someone with a lot of passion for the sport and what she's doing and will fight tooth and nail to the end, I feel like they have something there. But knowing 2026 SmackDown, they're not doing this, bro. That's it for Charlotte. But pack her up, bro. You're going to Cancun on a vacation. The backlash is going to be insane if Liv Morgan wins the tournament, as she is already holding the women's world title. This is, yeah, I just don't think I need to say anything more, man. Another Friday, another trash down, bro. This is like this is YouTube comments, bro. Usually YouTube comments are a lot more holier and things like that compared to, you know, TikToks and Instagrams, which is flooded with negativity. Usually YouTube has, you know, people with senses and, you know, but this is YouTube comments, bro. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on anything like this. Is the literal YouTube comment section, which is crazy because usually YouTube commenters look for something positive to say, but we've gotten this bad now. And now we are on to my favorite app where I see comments, because whenever something happens and just this app drop kicked us like the craziest commenters I have ever seen, bro. You're about to see what I don't even know if I can show some of this. Okay, we see Friday Night SmackDown right here. We click Friday Night SmackDown. 1.5 stars out of 5 stars is the thing people have rated the show. That is the average out of 170 people rating the show. Let's see the reviews for the show. Let's see the constructive criticisms people have for this show right here. Jay's booking versus Liv's booking versus Cody's title run booking. Trash, garbage, rubbish, bro. Like, what are we? Okay, we're already starting it off, man. Jaysma Bin Yeaton strikes again, dude. Yeah, these commenters are like, dude, these guys are on a different level. Paul is slowly making me racist. I can't stand you. Imagine one guy booking your television so poorly that you're just racist against Samoans now. you see a Samoan on the street, you're like, buddy, why are you here? Like, what are we? That MF on Twitter said it's gonna be one of the worst SmackDowns of all time. Let's prove him right. Dude, it's just like a night and day. YouTube comments come into this app's comments. It's just, there are so many creative people on this website or app. I really hate double doubling, right? Yo, worse than it. Yo, no, we can't. There's no way we can add this to the video, bro. Yo, why did Jey Uso look like that though? Yo, this might be fact. All Elite Wrestling, Near is All Elite. Who the hell is Near? Oh, that's the guy's profile. There's no way, bro. There's no way this guy made this. This guy watched SmackDown, thought it was this bad, and decided to make this, bro. That's crazy. Tuned into SmackDown for the first time in 2 months because I thought the card had some decent setup for Night of Champions, and I was morbidly curious to see who is going to be king and queen of the ring finals, and I was greeted with 3 of the worst matches I've seen all year. what an absolute ass show. This sucks so much. I'm happy I stopped watching weekly. Now this single good match of 3 hours of wrestling in B is beyond words. Yeah, this is, people are literally crashing out on apps to rate wrestling. This is literally where SmackDown is at this point, bro. King of the Ring is gonna end with Jey Uso winning. The Dangerous Five being up mid. How do people find this, bro? Is a good SmackDown even possible in 2026? I think we gotta leave it off there, because that is literally the definition of the video I'm making right now. As you guys can see, not a lot of people are happy with 2026 SmackDown, and I feel like the reasons are pretty valid. People aren't happy with the product right now. There's not a lot going on where people, you know, are very invested in much of anything, and you know, when people are invested, it kind of just turns into either in 2 weeks we just forgot about what you were invested in, we're not running with that anymore, or it's just a genuinely baffling decision that why are we doing this? Like the thing is that I can point it to is they're being very safe and conservative with the way they book. They're not really taking many chances on anything. It's kind of just the safest option with everything for booking, which this is wrestling, dog. It should be the complete, it should be mayhem. We shouldn't know what to expect heading week to week into SmackDown, and nobody feels that way. Everything is literally just predictable. So I feel like that might be the main thing that's wrong. It's just that they're just playing the safe game and acting like they just really don't care about anything. When they have something good, they kind of just revert back to what they knew and trying to kind of create hype like they did in 2024, like with the whole bloodline thing again. That's another video, bro. You know what? That's a good segue. Tune in later. I don't even know when I'm gonna make this video. I'm going to make a video about this bloodline because I have some takes about this after giving this thing some time. But yeah, if you guys have any video that you would like me to make about any topic in wrestling, please leave that down in the comment section down below. Tell me what you agree with, what you don't agree with. If I'm crazy, just go ahead and say that. I guess I don't really know. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. God bless, and I'm out.